Romy is keeping his base low, keeping that right leg of Imperato pinned to the canvas.
Other side, Mike. 90 seconds to go, Court. Here's the press point.
Under 90 seconds to go here in this first round between Romeus and Imperato.
There you go. Keep the smacks going. Good D, Mike. Keep smacking him.
on top.
Yes, sir. Good D. There you go. Move it. Yep. Take your time.
You can get wrist control.
Yeah.
Once again, Romeus wants to disengage.
Back up to that hole. Low.
Yeah, Romeus is feeling stuff down there with the sweeps and just the control and the movement of Imperato. You can see.
They must play
skills of
this
Imperato,
Saturday
even just
against the New York Jets. Let's take a look back at their game against the Houston Texans, and let's start with the New York Giants once versus the Houston Texans once. And let's be honest, it wasn't even the Houston Texans' first offense out there. Daniel Hunter did not play. Danico Autry did not play, and multiple other players for the Houston Texans that are going to be starters did not play. But I will say it was their first offense for some part of it, especially Derek Stingley. Drive number 1, 3 plays, 4 yards, and a punt. The very first play of the game, Daniel Jones premeditates who he's going to throw the ball to. Derek Stingley is staring him down. He watches his footwork. He knows he's working the quick passing game. He jumps the pass to Malik Neighbors. Didn't do all that much by helping him out, but it was an awful decision. And you know what? You punted in 3 plays. Drive number 2, 2 plays, 2 yards, an interception. Maybe the worst interception I have seen by a quarterback that has been in the NFL 4 or 5 seasons. Don't want to spend too much time on it. The ball should have been dirted. It should have been thrown away. He never should have made the mistake. The worst thing a quarterback can do is turn a bad play into a god-awful play. And that's exactly what Daniel Jones did. Drive 3 against the starters. 7 plays, 37 yards, and an interception. You did not put one solid drive together against the starting defense for the Houston Texans, who once again were missing multiple starters. In totality, you had 12 plays for 45 yards against the starting defense for the Houston Texans. Simply not good enough. This does not warrant you to be wearing a hat and your jersey with no shoulder pads on the sideline this Saturday against the New York Jets. I will say this, the Giants offense looked much better in the second quarter, but it wasn't the first string. It wasn't the second string. It was a combination of the second and third string defense for the Houston Texans. But I will say, Daniel Jones looked much better, as he should. Starters came out, mainly Derek Stingley, and the offense got crooked. 7 plays, 68 yards, and a touchdown. An absolute dime of a throw to Darius Slade against a third-string quarterback corner that is fighting to make this roster. We'll tell you about him in a second. What about the second drive of the game? 5 plays, drive number 5, 12 plays, 64 yards, and he had to settle for a few. Why are we not punching in for 6 anytime in the 2-minute drill, working against the second and third string defense? Some of those players will not even be on the Texans' 53-man roster. Jones missed a throw, in my opinion, in pretty bad fashion to Eric Gray on that wheel route that would have kept the drive alive. But it is what it is. They had to settle for a field goal. Against the 2s and the 3s, 19 plays, 132 yards. If you did this against the starting defense, you can rest. You can eat a hot dog on the sideline like Saturday against the New York Jets. But you didn't. You were awful against their starters against the Texans, and you need to go out and have more reps and be ready to play for week 1. Shout out to my guy Authentic. Awesome Twitter follow, awesome YouTube page. Check him out. Great content creator and a solid dude as well. I wanted to reference these tweets that he had. 74 of Daniel Jones' 138 yards were targeting third-string cornerback Mike Ford, who was undrafted in 2018. 25 of his 138 yards were targeting third-string corner Chris Ford, a 7th-round draft pick in 2019. Jones was 2 for 6 for 14 yards, 0 touchdowns, and not 1, but 2. Well, buy 1, get 1 free. And also, Derek Stingley dropped a pick 6 when targeting the starting Texans DBs. Everything else, as Authentic also writes, says everything else was a check down. 99 of his 138 yards were against 2 corners who have a combined 4 games started in the last 3 seasons of the National Football League. It's just the preseason. But that's the thing. He's on the every time I see Authentic tweet, I always just respond. It's just the preseason. It's just training camp. It's just OTAs. It's just mini
He's out of danger. He's out of danger.
authentic,
No, not yet.
Marshall. You don't know what they're
keeping that
working
arm
on
in.
in
Nice
practice.
job.
It's my little bit with him. But that's what you guys tell me all the time. That's why I always tell him that.
Good job from
He's on the
Imperato.
inside joke.
Fighting through
Daniel
this. You
Jones.
gotta watch the triangle
It
again as
was
he
so
transitions.
obvious on the very first drive of the game. And the meltdown,
that's the
the
difference,
brain
right?
shut-off play
That's
of
Imperato
making a
showing
horrible
off that
play
block
turn
pressure.
into a catastrophe and a world disaster showed me when he got into that oh shit moment, he didn't know what to do, and he panicked. And the only way to work the panic out is to go out and get live reps. He is coming back from a torn ACL. It was his first action since coming back from that. But the mistakes were not because of the ACL. He didn't tear his brain. He tore his ACL. And it looked like his brain shut off. And he said, shit, what am I doing? You never want that. You got to rep that out. They need live reps. All right, let's break it down bit by bit. My biggest takeaways from Daniel Jones. First play of the game, WTF. And what are we doing? We've said it for 6 years now at this point. Daniel Jones, more often than not, predetermines who he is going to throw the football to. That has been something that he has been slowed down by since he entered this league. But I will say this, I understand it on that play because it's a three-step drop, working the quick passing game, and you're trying to throw a quick catch to Malik Neighbors. We're trying to get Neighbors the football early on in the game. I get that. But it was the pre-snap predetermination who he's throwing the ball to, and the pre-snap, I would say, dissection of the defense as to how he came to that decision. If you go back and watch the film, he's working the short side of the field. He's going against the #1 corner on that team. The safety is also shaded that way, and the outside linebacker really his only responsibility is Theo Johnson there and getting into the flat to stop that hitch route. If you just work the wide side of the field, where there was no safety, with the corner backed off Jalen Hyatt, who was the backup, it would have worked out better. I will say Malik Neighbors did not help Daniel Jones out all that much. Was it a sloppy route? I don't know. But as a receiver, the one thing you have to do is have your quarterback's back. And if you see the play is falling to shit, you got to box out that corner, and you've got to turn into the corner and play defense and make sure he does it. Luckily, it wasn't intercepted, but that doesn't change anything. It was a terrible play, decision to the throw from top to bottom. Number 2, live to play another day. Live to fight another down. 2nd and 10 is better than a PAT for the other team. The worst thing a quarterback can do is turn a bad play into a horrible play. And one thing that fires me the hell up about Daniel Jones is he consistently does this. Old dogs don't learn new tricks. It's year 6. You are who you are. And he has done this multiple times. What about last year in week 1 against the Dallas Cowboys? Here's Daniel Jones, a half step from running out of bounds. Throw the ball away. Run out of bounds. But what did you do? You targeted Stephon Gilmore there. You tried to force a throw as you're running out of bounds, and it was picked off. The best way to predict the future is to look at the past. Daniel Jones always forces the ball and is consistently made bad plays worse. And it stinks that after an off season of not working, as you should be working your mind and understanding the game more and improving your football IQ, you eliminate dumb plays like that. Let's go. And we saw it in the freaking
UFC Fight Pass is
he
the
panicked,
exclusive home to
just
global
threw it,
powerhouse
nothing
combat
to do with the
sports
ACL.
organizations like
That's
Cage
processing
Warriors,
the game.
Cage
That's
Fury,
thinking the
LFA,
game.
many
That's
more.
having
Sign up today
football
to see the MMA
IQ.
stars of tomorrow.
Always feel like he
Access
just makes
to the
everything more
history
difficult.
of your
Run out of
favorite
bounds.
organizations,
Flip the ball
world's
out of
largest
bounds.
combat
Don't do
sports
what you
library.
did. You can't turn the ball
UFC
over in your own
app, sign up today.
territory. He consistently does it with mind-boggling decisions. I don't mind the Jalen Hyatt interception, to be quite honest with you. I like the fact that he saw one-on-one coverage, no safety over the top. He had Wan'Dale Robinson in the slot running directly at the safety to hold him in the middle of the field, and you had Jalen Hyatt one-on-one, and I love to see him take those shots. Trust your guy. Hyatt is here. He got to where he is as a football player. We're taking the top off the defense, beating one-on-one coverage, going deep. He didn't necessarily win the route. I don't mind the decision, but it is concerning how bad the actual throw was. I've listened to everybody talk about this. Bob Papa, I heard Carl Banks, I heard the QB school, and I said it when it happened. Why are you trying to throw a back shoulder throw here? And if you are, it's a horrible back shoulder throw. This is it's my guy or nobody on the outside shoulder, and it needs to be a catch like this. Look at Jalen Hyatt having to stop for the ball. He is open. That is open in the NFL. He beat him up the sideline. If Daniel Jones throws that ball to the back of the end zone with a little bit more touch, where was the touch at on that throw? He tried to throw a 1.5 ball. I need a 2 ball or a moon ball there, and he decides to leave it short and inside. I don't mind the decision, but the throw is concerning. I've always been worried if he can make these type of throws. It's early.
He can do.
Man, that was just terrible. Don't mind the decision. Take the chance. It's your guy, one-on-one. How about we work somebody else besides Derek Stingley? He finally did in the second quarter, and things happened. But it wasn't a good thing. I've got more takeaways and more thoughts on Daniel Jones and why he needs to play against the New York Jets. But first, I got to give a huge shout-out to today's sponsor, Game Time. Download the Game Time app, use the promo code ChatSports, and get $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. Game Time is the app where you get the best seats for the lowest prices guaranteed. Maybe you want to go to the Giants-Jets preseason game this week. Get your ticket with Game Time. Maybe you want to go catch the Yankees or Mets. Do it with Game Time. You get last-minute tickets and flash deals. You get views from the seats. And my favorite part is the lowest price guaranteed. I also love the feature where you can look at tickets via all-in pricing. That way, when you see that 3 tickets is worth $100, you pay $100. Because we've all been on apps where you get smacked in the face at the end. It's like, oh, well, here's also $155 in hidden fees. Game Time, they don't do it. Check them out. I only use Game Time. Not sure what took me so long, but they were the best in the business. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the promo code ChatSports. That's ChatSports. And you'll get $20 off your first purchase. A little bit of some encouraging words here, as I don't want to come up here and do this. I hate this. Works my blood pressure. It ruins my day. I want to say, I want to be irrational and confident about Daniel Jones. I want to come up here and tell you how good he is. The thing is, he's got to play good football for me to do that. But I love the way he rebounded on the deep throw to Slayton. Missed the deep throw to Hyatt. He hit Darius Slayton on a nice throw. It was good to see him settle in. Whether that was because he just got the first 15 reps out of the way, whether that was because we saw practice squad corners out there, I don't know. I'll let you decide. But it was nice to see 8 look to his safety valve, who's been there for him the last 5 years, hit his drop, hitch up, throw a nice ball to Darius Slayton down the sideline. Not a perfect ball, should have been a touchdown, but I'll take down at the 1-yard line, and Motor Singletary punches it in. And I love the back shoulder to Jalen Hyatt. Like, I saw 2 really good throws on Saturday. I was like, okay, we're improving. Beautiful ball to Hyatt. Hyatt, get your feet down. Help out your quarterback. Be strong at the catch point. I love those 2 plays. And I also like that in this new offense with Brian Dable calling the shots, it is very apparent that the Giants are going to air it out. 4 throws for Daniel Jones of 20-plus air yards. Has he ever had a game with 4 throws and 120-plus air yards? I do not know. It is obvious that Brian Dable and the New York Giants this season want to push the ball down the field. They want to create chunk plays. You look at any advanced metric, the percentage of touchdown drives that come with plays that are considered explosive, compared to considered not explosive, there is a massive difference. If you can create just one explosive play on a drive, you're going to score at almost double the clip that you don't. You need to create more explosive plays. They've got athletes to do it with Hyatt and Neighbors and Slayton and Robinson. Got to work on the chemistry. And that is why I believe ultimately he needs to play this Saturday against the Jets. Because you don't got week 1 to get in the rhythm. You don't got week 2 to get in the rhythm. You got to be ready to go because the season will be over if you're 0-2. What's your confidence level in Daniel Jones right now? Scale 1 to 10. 1 being you're not confident at all. 10, trying to win us.
I'm not saying let him off.
Let us know your thoughts.
But just, you've got to follow up against defense. He's limited in what
I
he
don't
can
want to
do.
get up here and bash Daniel.
That's
not fun for me. It's not fun for you. And I don't think that it is an enjoyable product. I don't want to go on YouTube and watch a guy with a widow's peak tell me how bad he is. But it's also my job to be honest. It's also my job to give you my opinion and tell you how I feel. And I just have my questions right now about following that script. It wasn't that big. It's fine. I've done this before. I've been pretty damn straight on how I feel. But it's not just me. Let's go to other ones. Daniel Ross, NFL quarterback, most notably known for running out of the back of the end zone, giving himself all his own safety. But I'll also take the opinion of a guy that's spent hundreds of and thousands of hours in an NFL tape room watching compared to Joe Blow on YouTube telling me that I hate Daniel Jones. Dan Orlovsky is concerned about Daniel Jones' 2 interceptions first attack. Says this, Daniel Jones hasn't thrown for 3 touchdown passes in a game since 2019. To have that rear its ugly head, that's going to be an issue. What about my guy, WBG80? Not following him on Twitter, do so.
My goodness.
I think a lot of people are awesome on Giants Twitter. I think he's the best account out there. Give him a follow. That's my guy. Daniel Jones is 1-9 in games where he throws 2+ interceptions. Been a trend for him in his career that when things go south, it stays that way. The great QBs in the NFL can find a way to bounce back after slow starts and mistakes to help their team win. You know what that last paragraph reminds me of? It's not fair to do this because one guy's going to be an undisputed first ballot Hall of Famer is Eli Manning. I didn't care how many interceptions Eli Manning threw in the first 3.5 quarters.
Really,
we were down 6. We got the ball last. I always believed he was going to get it done.
I think this is the end of the second when Romy
once again, my brother authentic. Jones hasn't had consecutive games with 2 or more passing touchdowns.
Good back and forth scrap.
30
a new camp
regular
for Tavius Romius went to Pura Vida BJJ, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. How do you
in a
feel
row.
like that
2 or
camp
more
changed and new game plan helped him here tonight?
Yeah, 100%.
We'll end it with
came out a little bit
as
more
long
controlled.
as
Still
Daniel
saw
Jones
glimpses
is
where
the
he got a little
starting
wild,
quarterback
but
for the New
much
York
more
Giants,
polished here tonight.
I will be rooting for him to
Let's
win
make
games
this one official
because I am a Giants
There you go,
fan.
to
And I will
Justin
never root for the Giants to lose. It means too much to me, and it means something to me to be a Giant fan. I will always root for whoever this team has under center. And if it's Daniel Jones, and it's Tommy DeVito, and it's Drew Lock, I will root for them. But it doesn't mean I have to think he's the best option. It doesn't make me less of a fan that I think the Giants can do better.
Tavius Romius gets the
unanimous
unanimous decision win.
I'm going to hold this organization to the greatness that they are. You're the New York Football Giants. You're a blue blood organization. As a fan, you should expect the best. I'm just not sure that we have that right now on this football team. If you love the New York Giants, if you bleed big blue, I need you right now to hit that thumbs up.
Now come back, and you see all the support he's got here with him now.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see just the corner that's with him, obviously seeming to care much more about him than whoever he was working with previous. And it showed in his performance, right? He came out, he landed some whips, almost ended the fight in the first round, had to deal with a very good grappler on the mat, looked for those arm bars, and at the end of the fight, he did come seconds away. I think that arm bar would have been there had there been 5 more seconds.
On today's show, we're going to discuss roughly 20 of the most polarizing wide receivers for fantasy this season. Be sure to stay tuned to the end of the show as Matt will reveal 2 guys he thinks are extremely underrated and 2 wideouts he thinks are overrated. The goal of this show is to combine player evaluation alongside our analysis of the situation. I really urge people to take both of these factors into consideration. I'm sure Matt will tell you just because a player is very good doesn't mean he will be a fantasy star and vice versa. But I think we can give you that team level context you need to make really good decisions here.
Thank you so much, guys.
Start
Congratulations,
with Drake London.
Portavius. What
Now,
a win.
Drake
Your
London,
second time on the show.
some
This
people
time
have
you get it
said,
done.
and by
How
some
good
people
does
I
that
mean
feel?
me, that if Drake London had been drafted by the Rams or the Lions or someone else, he would be a household name by now. He got drafted into the stone worst situation possible, made even worse by Arthur Smith last season. Matt, what say you about Drake London now as he enters a completely different part of his career where he's going to have an actual reasonable quarterback and reasonable scheme?
Coach Zach
Yeah,
there,
I'm generally with you that I think Drake London is an underrated NFL receiver, that if he was pretty much on, I don't want to say any other team, but almost any other team, any other situation, he would be higher regarded as a player. I think before kind of expanding on Drake London, I do just want to talk about sort of league-wide where the wide receiver position is right now, because there are so many good wideouts in the league. I have really kind of, I would say, upped my standards about
I know you
just
wanted
how we
that finish.
categorize
Tell
wide
me, though, how
receivers. So,
close was that armbar?
you know,
I
Evan,
know
we're-
that you're the king of armbars. How close was that last one?
Man, if I had like 5
So
more
Tom
seconds, I would have
Aspinall
got that much.
just
I ain't gonna lie, I would have got
cooked.
it.
I believe you. I
Cooked
believe you.
John
Cortez,
Jones.
congratulations. Hopefully
This
I'll be
is a
talking to
man
you
who's
again
had
tonight.
enough.
Guys, back to you.
And I'm here for it,
Thank you so
okay?
much. It is
I
never
am
easy
here for this
to go through the
all
struggles,
the
low
way.
points in life,
Tom
but you can
Aspinall
clearly tell
is up to
he's
here
become a
with
better
John
person,
Jones.
a better man.
No more
He's
Mr.
humble
Nice
and now
Guy.
hungry, hoping
Our
to
Tom
get that
Aspinall
UFC
is all
contract.
grown up. So we're going to listen to this interview that he did on Believe You Me with Michael Bisping. Thank you, Bisping, for the content. And we're going to listen to what he had to say because, again, you're going to have to start calling him Tom the Chef Aspinall because he just straight up cooked John Jones, start to finish. We're going to let it play and we're going to see what Tom has to say. Take it away, Tom. He's done. He's done with John Dutton, okay? Which he blatantly is. And it's about time he starts saying, here we go.
When I said, oh, Tom, look at this, John says he's retiring. Do you know what his response was, Anthony?
What was it?
He's a bit of a fanny, isn't he? Which I thought was nice. You didn't go scorched earth. You didn't talk shit. You were just like, oh, he's a bit of a fanny, isn't he?
Well, I stand by that. Stand by it. But,
Early doors, he's setting the tone. This ain't no more Mr. Nice Guy. He just called John Jones a name, okay? It don't matter what the name was that he called him. It wasn't John Jones. And that's all that matters, okay? No more Mr. Nice Guy. He's setting the tone early. And we're going to hear what Tom has to say.
Notable all-time Dana White Contender Series alums who
John
have
Jones,
through here now on
he was
8. This is week 2.
praying
Sean O'Malley,
that I would lose that fight against Curtis Blades, mate. Praying that I would. Because there is nowhere that you can find publicly, nowhere, him saying that he will fight me. It doesn't.
True. And John Jones was praying to God. That Tom Aspinall would lose to Curtis Blades. Now it's a good thing that God, if you read the Bible, is a big fan of John Jones' fight. He's not a,
right now, you can go to UFC.com
not a big fan of the old,
now you'll get an additional
the
10
old
entries
parade,
by
you
entering
know
the
what I'm
secret
saying?
code.
So he weren't listening that
UFC
day,
sweeps.
okay?
Good luck.
Since I made my videos exposing John Jones, let's just say God may have stopped listening to that
Dana White's
motherfucker,
Contender
okay?
Series
Because
is
Curtis
presented
Blades
by
went
Bud
down in a
Light.
minute, okay? Which is what John Jones expects from
Well, the
every
theme
date
tonight
that
on
he
week 2
goes
of the
on with
Contender
a man.
Series is
They
redemption,
need to
pulling
go
all the
down
stops to show
within
the
a minute,
boss Dana
or
White
he
that
will
you
get
have
very
what it
angry.
takes to
Here we
cut
go.
it in the UFC.
Publicly, nowhere,
3 years after his win on
him
season
saying that he
5
will
of
fight
Contender
me.
Series,
It doesn't
Russia's
exist. I
Rich
challenge
Paul
anybody
returns
watching this
and
interview
promises that he's
to
better
go
than
and find
ever
a
as he takes
statement,
his
a
run in
quote,
glory
a
against
video
Brazil.
where John Jones is
Hugo
saying that he'll
Silva
fight me
back
after he's fought Stipe. It doesn't exist. The guy's
oportunidade de participar do Contender Series.
Trust me, I will.
Virada de chave, né?
I'm the guy that's
Poder
looked,
dedicar a vida
And it
mesmo
don't
ao
exist
esporte,
at
né?
all.
Então
Right.
é isso que eu
smart. And mate, the guy, we know he's a bit overweight these days. The guy was sat there, mate, with the Cheeto fingers or whatever, the Doritos on his fingers, with his iPhone in hand, waiting for me to get knocked out so he can start tweeting about it. Let's be honest, and since I won that fight, he's gone completely quiet, and he'll...
Radio silence since Tom Aspinall beat Curtis Blades. He had a lot to say in the build-up. He would have had a lot to say if Curtis Blades had won. Radio silence since Tom Aspinall beat Curtis Blades. I just like that we got Big Tom over here calling John Jones a Twitter warrior. Because that's what he is. That's what he is in comparison to the real heavyweight champ, Tom Aspinall. Okay?
Quiet, and he'll continue to go completely quiet about me until he retires, because there's no way on earth that he's going to fight me. Not a chance. I will retire John Jones without even fighting him.
One more time, Tom.
That he's going to fight me. Not a chance. I will retire John Jones without even fighting him.
And you can see it in Tom's face there as well. He's like, I know I just had a really hard line there. You know what I mean? And not the type of lines that John Jones is used to. You know what I mean? Because Jones is used to a few lines. Okay? But Tom Aspinall, this is a one-off. Okay? A real good line there. I will retire John Jones without even fighting him. Who cares what Anthony Smith has to say after this? Who cares? Tom Aspinall's on business. Big Smoke, Tom Aspinall. He ain't playing no games anymore, man. You got to skip forward to another part of this interview, dude. He's done. And I like this for Tom. We played the nice guy game. It's not working, okay? I know Tom is about a few seconds away sometimes. And just call it this game, okay? Now, maybe he won't do that because he's a better man than me, who knows? Well, who knows? He probably is. Let's face it, I mean, he just got KO'd by a fucking illness. He's out here fighting the most dangerous men in the world and knocking them out, so a little bit different situations, but we're going to let it move on to another moment here, which is at 144. Here we go. More to come. There's a lot more. And I'm really enjoying this new side of Tom Aspinall. He's had enough. He tried these.
Well, the way I look at it, I'm the best heavyweight in the world, and I'm not getting my credit for it. They're holding the belt hostage, mate, and John Jones is loving it. He's loving the fact that Dana White's getting on every interview possible. Friggin' hell, you talk about something, you're talking about bantamweights, and Dana White flips it back and starts talking about how good John Jones is. I'm like, mate, if he's that good, let's fight. Like, I'm the #1 heavyweight in the world right now. Let's put it on the line and let's see who the man is, me or John. Simple as that. It's not. And I think a lot of people get it twisted about me disrespecting John and all that stuff. Mate, there's plenty of ammo out there for me to get online and disrespect John Jones.
Whenever you see a fight card and you see the heavyweights, people get...
He's an MMA guru viewer, didn't you? Okay? Now, we got confirmation early on into this video. This guy's an MMA guru viewer, which means only one thing. That ammunition is getting fired real quick. You know how I do with ammunition? I gave it to Tricky Duplessis for the Adesanya press conference. I gave it to Strickland for the Adesanya press conference. Okay? We know how I do with the ammunition I have, okay? I'm an arms dealer. I'm like America in World War II, okay? And I'll show up where it counts at the very end after I've done watching like Ian Gary while Europe fights for its life. Fights for its life. Either way, keep it going, Tom. There's a lot more ammunition. And Tom's been doing his research, dude. He's been investigating a little bit. See, that's the next stage right there. This is Tom at DEFCON 1. I think it'll go DEFCON 2 at some point. If John don't take this fight, Tom's going to start firing that ammunition real quick.
There's plenty of ammo that people know about John Jones in his personal life. And I ain't going there. I'm not about that. I'm the best fighter in the world. Best heavyweight in the world right now. And John Jones isn't. And I'm willing to prove it. And he's not. That's what I'm about. I'm about being the best heavyweight in the world. As I said, it's well documented that John Jones isn't the best person in the world, isn't the best human being in the world.
That's putting it lightly. That is putting it lightly right there. But you heard Tom, he's not that guy. He's too nice. He's a great man. He's a family man with kids. Okay? This is a modern day hero. This is someone that you've got to look up to. Okay? There's a changing of the guard coming. The Adesanyas and the Joneses, they're on their way out now. We've got Drickus, we've got Aspinall, we've got good men. They're going to be a good example for the youth to watch out to.
He's coming out of Dagestan, so obviously Rizvan is very well-rounded. 8 of his
Tom
wins are coming
Aspinall's only a man. He's only human. And if he gets any more annoyed, all hell might break loose. This guy's spitting facts and has been cooking since the get-go of this interview.
But I ain't going there. I don't want to go there. I don't want to make it personal. I want to be known as the best heavyweight in the world because I believe I am. And if he believes that he is, let's fight about it and settle it. Simple as that.
I'll tell you this, Tom, right now. He don't believe he is, which is why we're in this situation where he's fighting Stipe Miocic.
Let's take a look at the tail of the tape.
He doesn't believe he is the best heavyweight in the world, and you do. And that's what we're seeing between the two of these guys. We move on to another moment because Anthony Smith's going to start yapping again. Here we go.
We spoke in Manchester briefly, and you mentioned it just there. So you're going to be the backup fighter for the fight between Stipe and John. Is that confirmed?
Yes, mate, that's confirmed. And I will jump in on 1 hour's notice if I have to and beat either of them.
So my question...
Yeah. This is what I'm talking about. This is the fucking heavyweight champ. He was worried about talking this shit before he got the wins. But now he's got the wins and he's cemented as the best heavyweight in the world. This is the type of... Now we've got a Kahuna increase here for Tom Aspinall. This guy's balls have doubled in size over the past week. And it's... Well, I'm no Jones, but it's amazing to see. Okay? Wonderful to hear from Tom Aspinall. Pressure. He's going to be the backup opponent for Jones versus Miocic. And that's going to pressure John even more. Because we're going to have Tom Aspinall there as the backup guy weighing in, and it's going to bring a lot more questions to John on fight week. We're going to have a Tom Aspinall media day on fight week. We're going to have Tom Aspinall in the arena after the fight when Jones is done beating up that poor old man, who might win, by the way, and I hope he does. Once John is done beating up that poor old man, Tom's going to be in the arena. Who knows, Tom might get into the cage. And then all of a sudden, walking away from the sport in front of Tom ain't so easy anymore.
We got to talk about how these
okay?
names sound extremely.
We know how John Jones feels about short notice backup opponents. Dude pulled out because Chael Sonnen stepped in for a fight. He cancelled the whole event because Chael Sonnen stepped in for a fight. So this is the pressure that John don't want. And listen, the pressure's on him now. It's not all about John sitting at home, getting all fat, being gay, and just typing on his phone and tweeting away about Tom Aspinall and putting all the pressure on him. The boot's on the other foot now, John. Okay? The boot is on the other foot now. And Tom's ready to step in and beat either one of them on a minute's notice and beat them in a minute. Okay? He'll give you a minute's notice.
This is what we figured, right? We knew there was going to be some clinch work in this matchup. And both these guys very good.
You better be ready after that minute to call the fight off.
And for Cunha of Brazil,
so
obviously,
we're going to keep it going now. Because I want content. I'm not going to stop for anything, guys. We do content no matter what, boys. I ain't leaving you out to dry with nothing to watch. Here we go, 1:48:08 on the clock. What you got to say again, Tom? There's more to this. He's not done with John.
The greatest of all time.
Who do you look up to more?
This is exactly where he wants this fight
Out
to
of
be. He
John and
wants to
Stipe,
put
who do you look up to more? Says Anthony Smith. A real double threat of a question right there.
He's so dangerous with.
Here we go. Let's have a listen. Who do you look up to more?
Well, I look up to Stipe more because don't make me say it. Don't make me say it.
Well, no, it's like your life depends on it. You're coming out here, right? You know, I didn't have to work through the Contender Series, so I feel for these guys.
See it.
It's super
See
pressure.
it, Tom.
You're standing there. It's
you
like,
want to
okay,
say it. Look at it grin. That's an MMA Gurus fans grin right there.
Come back if you put on a good
He wants to say it, boys. It's right there. Give it a few more weeks. Listen, Tom, no rush. You know what I mean? When you want to start getting real, we'll start getting real. Okay? Maybe I'll have you on the pod in the build-up to Jones versus Miocic. Let's really put the pressure on this John Jones guy. Okay?
You just want to be anywhere
so I'll have you on the show, and we'll do an interview in the build-up to Jones Miocic, and we'll have a little bit more pressure. And I'll talk to you before, and if you want to keep it clean, we can keep it clean. I'm a very respectful guy, and I'm not going to push the boundaries here. I know you've got a great image, and I don't want to tarnish it with my awful image of being a disgusting, despicable human online. So I'll keep it clean. But I guess this is an open invitation, Tom Aspinall. I'm a little ill right now, so I wish I could say it in a proper voice. But hey, in the build-up to Jones Miocic, you want to do a little episode on Fight Week? I'm sure that'll add a little bit more pressure onto this guy who's been trying to pressure you for the past however many months it's been. Amazing to hear. Let's keep it playing.
Say what? I want an opportunity.
Well,
I don't mean like personally.
Let the man speak. I want to hear this.
Is there anything about drug tests going on?
I didn't even think of that.
I wasn't thinking of that either.
Oh, they were thinking about some other stuff. You know what I'm saying? They might have been thinking about some, she's overcooked dinner again kind of stuff. Who knows? But the drug testing, here we go, Tom. This guy, I feel like a proud father right now. Okay? And I know that might be demeaning and condescending.
Big shots. This is
But
going to
I'm
be
so
it
proud
here.
of our boy Tom. Okay? Our boy Big Tom from England.
getting the stoppage.
He's thrown into a man in front of our eyes here, guys. I'm joking.
With just seconds
That's
to
a
go
bit of
in
an
that
asterisk
first
next to your name, do you know
round.
what I mean? If there's a drug test going on. Same as, you know, when people talk about Anderson Silva being the best of all time, you know, he definitely was, but there was definitely some other stuff going on there.
Yeah,
there's some questions.
I know I gave him a little bit of grief about Stone, but he was waiting for the right opportunity, and
No
when he
one's
finally
safe.
went for it, he sealed the deal.
No one is safe from Tom Aspinall's cooking, okay? It's a hot kitchen right now. This is, we're in Hell's Kitchen. Hey, buddy, hey, come here. Hey, he's angry.
And you
He's
land
channeling his inner Ramsey
heavyweight.
right now.
This is the
okay?
kind of
He's one step away from slapping 2 pieces of fucking bread either side of Jones's ears and calling him an idiot sandwich.
Angled it into around the
This
elbow
guy's
to make
not
sure that he
playing
got
games,
to the body,
buddy. Okay?
and just
We're in
pounded
Hell's
away. And I
Kitchen.
think we're going to take a
And
listen to
cooking's
how
getting hot.
close
If you
this
can't handle
was
the heat,
to
get
the
out of the
horn. Let's
kitchen.
take a listen.
John, there's got to be a wife joke I can make about getting out of the kitchen. Either way, we're going to move on to something else. But still, this guy's at his wit's end, okay?
Just beating
And
the
he's ready
horn.
to cook, okay? And there's a little bit more to this as well at 1 minute 50 or 1 hour 50. Into the
now
podcast, they
on
did
an
a 2-hour
11-fight
podcast. Shout out to them.
streak. And he's
Work
hoping
ethic
this
is
second
unmatched
time
right now
around
from
is
Believe You
enough
Me.
to get
Buddy.
his UFC contract.
Come here,
Let's
buddy.
go inside.
Here we go.
Justin Bernard.
Thinking that.
Yes, you are. It is pissing me off.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 minutes, 59
This is
seconds
saying,
into round
am I
number
right in
1,
saying,
referee
buddy,
Blake
you're getting a
Bryce
bit
calls a
pissed
stop
off?
to the fight for the winner by TKO, Rizvan.
I don't like to fucking complain because everyone's like, oh, you're crying about this, blah, blah, blah.
That official
No, they won't,
decision
Tom.
brought to you by
Only Jones fans will, and you know what, Jones? You shouldn't care about the opinion of Jones fans, okay? Should not care about the opinion of Jones fans. That's all I'm gonna say. Nobody's annoyed that you're complaining. Only Jones fans are. Keep it
It's all smiles now
irregular.
for Rizvan
Don't be
Kunio.
doing this every week, but every couple of weeks,
As he had
every
the
month or
presence
two,
mind,
in
knowing
the build-up
clock
to
was
Jones' fight
winding
with
down, his
Miocic,
opponent down.
just come in and
Well, he
start
created the
whacking again.
space in order to get
You know, have a little bit
Yeah,
of
I
a
mean, he
vent.
landed a beautiful
Have a bit of a
knee, so he showed
complaint.
off a
You've
lot
earned
right
it.
there at the end. Beautiful knee.
MMA fans
vicious
know when
elbow,
complaints
and
are
that killer
justified and
instinct
when
with the
they're
ground
not,
and pound,
okay?
which is exactly what you want to see, especially
Good stuff.
for that
Here
second
we
time
go.
around. Now he gets
Mate,
passed by.
there's 6 guys in the top 10 who I finished in the first round. Just let that sink in for a minute. There's 6 guys in the top 10 have finished in the first round.
One more look here.
Let's try and name them.
He gets
Curtis
Cunha
Blades,
backing up
Marcin
against the fence.
Tybura.
So that's the beginning of the fight with that beautiful front kick up the middle. When you go knock a
Sergey
heavyweight
Pavlovich,
over like that,
Alexander
look at
Volkov,
this uppercut.
that's 4.
Beautiful work up against the
Who
fence. And
else
look
in
at
the
how he
top
creates.
10
He
is
bumps,
there that he's
creates
beaten in
just
the
that
first
little
round?
bit of
He's
distance
not in the
to
top
land
10,
those
is he?
elbows, to land those knees, and then
God, why
big
did I
ground and
even try and
pound
list
to
them
finish
down-
the job off.
down
Second time
and
around,
ruin
2
the whole
finishes,
vibe of
and
the
now
video 'cause I'm
he's with
wrong.
Larasenko.
Thank you so much,
6
guys. Well,
guys in the top 10
congratulations
that
on the
he's finished
biggest
in the
win of
first
your
round.
career. 11 wins in a row now.
Am I
How
forgetting
happy
like
are
half
you
of
with
this
this
guy's
performance?
career? Tybura, Spivak, actually, yeah. Tybura, Spivak, Pavlovich,
Can you
Blades,
tell him to take his mouth out?
Volkov, and I guess one other fat guy that I can't quite think of right now. That's real. That's real right there. And he's coming for Cyril Gane next. That's the only name that ain't on his resume yet. He wants that Cyril Gane matchup, true. That's the only fresh one there is right now for him. Okay? Let it play.
I just beat the number 1 contender,
With
who
just seconds
is Cyril
left,
Gane,
you
and the
got
number 1
finish. And you said coming into this fight, you wanted to show what you were
meant Curtis
capable
Blades.
of. You didn't
Contender
get the
before
contract
him,
the first time.
who was
You're
Sergey
here again.
Pavlovich, in a
Do you
combined
feel
time of
like
2
you've done
minutes
enough
and
to
7
get a contract
seconds.
this
2
time?
После второго
fights.
удара ты его потряс, и ты уже
saying
почувствовал
it.
финиш, и в целом
Tom Aspinall is
то, что
saying
ты уже дрался в Dynamite Contender Series,
what
ты
he's
уже
doing.
выигрывал.
And
Как
it's
ты
been a
думаешь,
while
вот сейчас
since we've
ты
heard
сделал
Tom
достаточно
talk like
для того,
this.
чтобы заслужить контракт?
He's saying what he's doing. And he ain't yapping, and he ain't saying I'm just different than these guys. He's telling you the facts. This is what has happened.
Все прошло по нему, дали ему чуть поработать. И потом уже подключились. И после первого апперкота я почувствовал, что и завершил.
So it's like,
локтем.
fucking John's not doing that. He beat one guy, Cyril Gane, who didn't want to be there 2 years ago. And he's walking around calling himself the real champion. Granted, he's having a mix.
We also
he's in Korea, he's been a champ.
So true, and listen, he has had an amazing career, but that's so true. Cyril Gane did not want to fucking be there. Look like he's fucking like, listen, Tom Aspinall puts people out. Gane put himself out in that fight. Jones took him down, yeah, but Gane's laying there. No athletic explosion from him.
Second time on the show, you get the finish. I have a
at
feeling I
any
will
kind
be
of
talking to you again. Congratulations.
No attempt at any
guys,
kind of
let's send it back to you.
resistance. At least these guys Tom's fighting are giving it, like trying to fight him. Pavlovich blades, they're throwing hands, they're duking it out. Gane went out there, groin shotted him, got taken down, and then just went, I'm friends, and then waved the fucking flag. You know what I mean?
That his life will change here on ice.
Tom Aspinall's got it right. And also another thing about that Cyril Gane fight.
Just a matter of moments,
people act like Jones is the lineal heavyweight champ. He's not. Aspinall's belt is worth more than John's. He's fought more. Again, I don't know what the sixth guy, who the sixth guy was, I can't think right now. But 6 guys in the top 10 in the first round. Destroying these guys, 2 guys in the top 4 in a minute each. It's like, this guy's different. And Cyril Gane was coming off not a great performance against Tuivasa, which now is aged awful. He's getting fucking dropped by him. Sorry. Just gonna say it how it is. That is aged fucking abysmally. Let's just say that.
UFC fight.
And he didn't beat the guy that beat the guy. He fought for a vacant belt.
Right here in Toronto, Canada.
Which is what Tom did, but Tom fought better guys to get the vacant belt.
All the stars
let it play.
And I feel like
he's having an amazing career. He's been a champion most of his career.
Super excited to
not a heavyweight. I'm the guy at heavyweight. Not him.
Excited to get my revenge on him. Everybody who thought it was an early stoppage.
Yes, Tom, you can see he's practiced this in the mirror as well. I love it, dude. Yes, Tom, look at
let's look back and see what these contenders have shown us through 7 seasons.
Oh, the rehearsals are big.
59% finish rate.
I'm the guy at
to come in
heavyweight.
and impress the
Not him.
boss. 5 have
Me.
made the trip up the ladder to compete.
Yeah.
And 2 have
Soundbite
seen that dream
machine
come
over
true
here.
with O'Malley.
So
set to
I want to be
defend his
recognised
title
as the
next
best.
month at no
I've got the
UFC.
real belt.
Unbelievably.
I'm the one defending. He's defending against the 42-year-old Stipe Miocic with a million miles on the clock. If you want to be the real guy, you have to fight me.
UFC Apex here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Week 2 has not
I've been waiting for this. And it's great to see the
We
character
still
arc of Tom
have
Aspinall.
one more
You know what?
fight
Yeah.
left to come here tonight.
I knew he was the real
Dana
heavyweight
White's
champ.
Contender Series
But you know
back
what
in
Tom
action
Aspinall's
Tuesday
starting to
night
do?
is now one of the
This guy's
best
starting to sound like the
days of
heavyweight
week
champion of the
because
world.
this is
And I
how
wish I
we
didn't
get
say that he
into
sounded like the heavyweight
UFC.
champion of the
It
world
is time
mid
now
fucking voice crack.
for the working man
But this guy's
power
starting to sound like the
rankings.
heavyweight
Paul
fucking
Felder.
champion of the world.
How do you rank
And
them
I'm
with
all
their
here
first
for
4
it.
fights here
We're all
tonight?
here
John,
for
I'm
it,
gonna tell
Tom.
you.
Don't worry about what.
I think it's a no-brainer that our boy
I can't
Hayden
do
in the beginning of this
impressions, man,
night
with
with
his
that beautiful
Either way.
performance is gonna get a contract.
No
Kid
one's
has it all.
thinking that. We're all
MMA's
on your
thriving
team,
down
right?
under
You've
in
got
Australia.
MMA
I think we
YouTube
get
on
that
your
kid in
side.
there, no problem.
We're all in
And I think
agreement. Even
Kuliak
MMA
just sealed the
Joey's
deal
in
with the
agreement
second
about this.
contract.
Yeah, I mean,
think
that's
there's
how
no doubt
crazy
about
things
that.
have
It
got.
just, you come out the second
Tom
time, you get a
Aspinall.
big finish like that. Give that man
He's
his contract.
fucking man.
Heavyweights, we need
And he's
that.
the heavyweight
and
champ.
then 3, I think
And
Finney
he's
being
done
undefeated.
cooking,
I still think maybe he could have went
His
for a little
cooking
more
seminar
time, but I
is
think
now
he did enough
over,
to coming back
okay?
for the second time to get
Turn
the
the
contract.
stove off.
And I
Leave
think
it to
that
boil.
might be it for tonight.
Bring
I think
it to
for
room
Romeus,
temperature.
I think
The
maybe
meal
a
is
little
done.
bit more seasoning on him.
This
Maybe
guy
go
just
out there, get
cooked
another big
for
win. But
23 minutes.
I could be
See you
wrong. That
later.
could end up being a
Goodbye.
contract. You never know
I'm
what the
not gonna do too
matchmakers
many
in Dana
lives
are
'cause
thinking.
I'm
But I
really
think for that
struggling.
division, maybe a
But
little bit more time to
I'm
come
gonna
back
keep
a
the
little
content
stronger.
coming.
Yeah, certainly a no-brainer
Great
for
stuff from Tom.
Cody Haddon. That was a tremendous
Amazing,
performance.
amazing interview.
And like you say,
This guy
Cody,
sounded like the
we
heavyweight
always
champ.
need heavyweights. He did
And
what he
I
needed
think it's
to
going
do.
to be a
and
real
he
easy
did it,
transitional
you know,
period
intelligently. He took
once
his time.
Jones
I
decides
think
to
he
call
knew
it
that
quits.
finish would come when he
And
put
Tom
him against the
Aspinall.
fence. And I'm
Another
with you. I'm
invitation. Let's
interested
do it.
to
Let's
see
do a
what
show
Dana's vibe
on
is
Fight Week
regarding
for
Torres
Jones
Finney and
Miocic.
Janius
Put that
Romeus.
pressure
Usually
on
I
him.
can tell
Let
as soon as
Jones
he
see
walks
that in his
over
YouTube
how that's gonna
notifications.
go. Sometimes I'm
Let
wrong.
him get
We'll see.
annoyed by that. Let him tweet about that sassily.
Week 1.
Okay?
We saw 5
And
fights,
then
4 contracts.
you get in that cage
Let's see how many
on the fight
contracts
night
will be
after he's done
handed out
beating up
tonight.
that
Here we
poor
go.
old man.
Final fight
Okay?
of the night, a pair of welterweights who
Then
seem
we'll
to
have a great time.
always
Okay?
find the
Get in that
finish.
cage. And either John Jones is going to have
One
to
half
stick
of the
around
UFC
and
Fight
fight you,
Passes
or
Fight of the Year
he's going to have to
2023.
retire in
Sweden's
your
Andreas
face
Gustafsson
while
always
you've got the
brings
real
excitement.
fucking heavyweight
Plans
title
on
over your
keeping that
shoulder in the
reputation
cage
intact
with.
when he meets
See you
Canadian
later.
slugger
Goodbye.
Pat Pitlick.
My name is Pat Pitlick. I'm 35 years old.
Dragus really wants to go to South Africa. I'm like, bro, you really want me to go to South Africa? You really want me to go to apartheid country? No, Sean, the apartheid ended. Like, it ain't like that. I'm like, first of all, I've been to South Africa, so I go to this orphanage. All those black kids, bro. All those black kids. Not one white kid there. And I'm like, well, that's a little unusual. Like, I thought you said apartheid's over. Like, 90% unemployment. You know who that 90% unemployment is? Ain't the whites. If John Jones, why I go so hard on him, if he were...
The fight went exactly the way I visualized. I knocked him out in 1 minute and 35 seconds. I believe that I'm one of the best fighters in the world, and I can't wait to showcase my skills.
My name is Andreas Gustafsson. I'm 33 years old. I love to fight. I began wrestling when I was 6 years old. I started training submission wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a little boxing. I think it's in my blood. You know, as a Swedish guy, I don't care if I win or lose. I just want to feel I've done a good fight.
Oh, right hand from the Swede.
It would mean a lot to me if I be the next star from Sweden, of course. Alexander Gustafsson is off now. Sweden needs a new Viking. Sweden wants UFC back. So hopefully I'm going to bring UFC back to Sweden.
If he's already saying he doesn't care about winning or losing, he's already lost. That's not what a winner says. A winner's trying to get the contract. A winner's trying to continue.
I'm going to step in there and give it my all. Like I always do. That rage and aggressivity I have in my body. I'm exactly what they're looking for.
I see myself getting the stoppage in entertaining fashion.
Pat Pitlick is a guy who understands the pressure, what it feels like to fight in front of Dana White. His last fight in January, UFC president was in the house in Toronto, and he was there to see the dramatic first-round knockout after the fight. Dana said, you know, I'm not really looking for 35-year-old welterweights, but that was so impressive, he had to sign him up here for this fight tonight.
Well, that says a lot about the way that Pat Pitlick fights, and I can tell you from watching his footage that Pat Pitlick fights the way that Dana White likes to watch a fight. I mean, he's so aggressive, always looking to do damage. But the way that he pressures forward is with a lot of intelligence. He's so good at going to all different targets. The 9 knockouts, though, I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about this guy. His finishing instincts are so tremendous. The way he sets everything up with his kicks, really, really impressive. But he's got a very tough test ahead of him, and this wild man Gustafsson.
Yeah, he's going to have to try to slow it down a little bit. And that's crazy to say for a Pitlick, because he's so aggressive himself, such a good striker. But the guy on the other side is going to just be insanely aggressive. If Pitlick can pick his shots, be a little longer, be a little bit more precise, I think that gives him a better advantage here tonight. This guy's a finisher.
He was undefeated up until 2019, got a serious back injury that derailed his career. People told him to hang it up, but here he is proving the doubters wrong. This is the man many want to see tonight, Andreas Gustafsson out of Sweden. That fight we were talking about, 2023, was the bloodiest fight in Nordic MMA history. He broke his nose early in that fight. That's why there was blood everywhere. He had trouble breathing for the rest of the fight, the mouthpiece flying everywhere. But this is a guy who likes to just mix it up. Yanni, I know there's a side here you like. Who are you leaning towards?
There is, and the favorites are now 8-1 this season. And here's another favorite that should be able to get the money. 10-1 as an amateur, 10-2 as a professional. He's fought at middleweight. He's fought at welterweight. He's as aggressive as they come, but he's also the Swedish wrestling champion, former wrestling champion. Having that in his back pocket may come handy here. It's expected to be a stand-up, but having that in the back pocket may help out. At minus 230, 250, got to look to the favorite here. We also getting plus money on the over with all that firepower. No surprise. I think we may get there over 7.5 minutes.
And that's a great point, Yanni, to have that wrestling background. Both these guys just dynamite in the hands, very aggressive strikers. But with Gustafsson being the one that might be able to use that power on the ground, which we've seen him do with his ground and pound, that might not be a terrible approach to stand up, see what you get from Pitlick, and then try to mix it up if need be.
Getting ready for our featured welterweight fight of the night. It is time now for the tale of the tape as we take a look at two guys in their 30s. Pat Pitlick, 2 years older at 35 years old. Nobody with a reach advantage either. So who's going to have more heart, more skill to get the win and pull out the UFC contract tonight? Our referee for the 5th and final fight will be Mark Smith. So on season 7, we saw Josephine Knudsen.
Andreas, ready? First round.
Also from Sweden. She's now undefeated in the UFC. Let's see if another Swede can get the win here. Gustafsson comes out wearing the red and Pitlick in the blue. They're not wasting any time.
No, and we didn't think they would, did we?
Absolutely not. I mean, this is exactly how Gustafsson fights. He's like one of those yoked up bull terriers that just, walks right into the fire and starts gnawing on a bone. That's exactly what he's doing right now to Pitlick, which is a smart move against a guy who's such a proficient striker.
There's the takedown. This is smart work for Gustafsson. Even though he's got knockout power, now he can start to do damage on the ground, start to wear on him, look to advance position. This is where he really can wind up and land some big shots. Nice shot from Pitlick, trying to work right back up. It's going to be a frantic pace. Both these guys are going to have to try to settle into these early moments if it doesn't finish. And the one with the better tank might be the one that comes out with the win.
Mark Smith is eyeing for a potential fence grab there. Gustafsson in the red said his style is just aggressive. He said, I'm not the most technical, but I just love to fight.
You don't always have to be the most technical. If you can, that physicality, I think sometimes as analysts, we don't always, give it enough props in terms of how we break down fights. And sometimes it just takes coming out there and putting your foot to the ass.
Nice work. This is where Pitlick just getting bullied around in there in this clinch. Got forced right back up against the fence from Gustafsson. He's got to try to turn away. He's done the right thing. He was able to weave his arm through earlier when he was coming up to his feet, but he ate a nasty knee from Gustafsson on the way.
We're seeing strong clinch work early from Gustafsson. Let's see if he can get his offense going a little bit here in this first round.
Good job by Pitlick there to get double unders. It's going to allow him to defend a little bit better, but just as I say that, Gustafsson digs back in. Style of fight can be so exhausting when you're the striker that's used to operating a little bit more in space and being able to get your offense off. When you're shoved up against a fence like this and just grinding these high friction moments can be so tiring.
Nice elbow.
Left by Gustafsson.
Yeah.
Another one.
Yeah, this is good work. This short distance elbows there from Gustafsson where he can continue right back into this clinch work, trying to wear on Pitlick early. And you're right, Laura, this is so exhausting, especially if you're the longer guy that wants to strike at distance and start to get combinations going. You're forced to kind of dig underhooks, work your way back in, and just feel all those muscles that you use for striking. They're just suddenly pumped up like you've been lifting weights for an hour.
Yeah, just a really smart strategy by Gustafsson to do this early, right? Knowing that he might have a little bit less technique on the feet than Pitlick. Pitlick is so good there. He's literally said, he's like, I'm not the tactician. I'm a guy who's going to come out there and put hands on you. But we're seeing how that can work in a fight. You can wear guys down, and I'll be interested to see how Pitlick rebounds from this if we see a second round. Big if.
Yeah, and that's, sorry, John, go ahead, but that's where he's got to get separation right there, and he just can't. Now he got it.
Right back on him.
Gustafsson is just relentless.
Yeah.
You can see the game plan it is to just not give Pitlick any space early on.
He's doing damage with it as well. He's not just closing the distance and shutting down the kicking and the punching of Pitlick. He's absolutely tenderizing the body right now with these knees.
Gustafsson says, outside the cage, I'm actually a nice guy. Full-time job as a power line controller. He spends all day by himself in the woods. He said, but once you get inside the octagon, it's all about aggression and the anger and just letting everything go.
Yeah, for some guys, it's therapy, right? You just live a normal life and you go and train and you hope to make this your full-time job. And until then, a lot of guys do a lot of other things until they get these big opportunities. And it's just a reason to let out a lot of aggression. Martial arts has always been that. Many people down. Pitlick might be able to get some combos going here.
He's trying to get some space.
Good knees to the body.
Final seconds here in this first round. There is the horn. Pitlick not allowed to get any kind of space in that first round.
Zero space.
Look at Gavin. Look at him.
Hold it. Hold it up. Here, take your water. Here, take your water.
Take your water.
Here, drink when you're ready, okay? Listen to me. Listen to me. When you get that reverse collar, okay, you gotta break off with that. The cross hip pry is good. You gotta see the reverse collar to make the space strong. You know that's his best round. Look at me. That's his best round. Breathe through your nose. Take a sip of water. Take a big sip of water.
That's his biggest outlay of work. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? It's his biggest outlay of work. Pat, when you step back and create space, those punches need to be a little shorter, okay? Okay. Do you hear me? Yeah. When you start at the start of the fight,
Let's take a look at some of the work from Gustafsson in this first round. I mean, clear game plan from Gustafsson. Get in close and do damage, and he landed several very big elbows to the dome of Pitlick here. I mean, every moment that he is in this clinch position, he's doing damage.
Those inside elbows, that could turn this into a bloody war for Gustafsson.
All right, Pat, ready?
Yeah, absolutely.
Andreas, ready? Fight's on.
There we go, we start round two, and once again, Gustafsson right up in the grill of Pitlick.
It's on Pitlick to create the space needed.
I mean, Gustafsson just like a pit bull, though.
All right, Paul, you said it's up to Pitlick to create that space. Technically, what does he have to do to...
Well, you see him trying to do a lot of it, right, John? He's trying to dig these underhooks. He's trying to circle off the fence. Try to maybe mix it up and frame off on the face. Land your own elbows in these short exchanges.
Interestingly, that's exactly what he said this fight was going to come down to. He said it's going to be my frames versus his grips, and it's playing out like Pitlick knew it would, actually.
In these changes here, this is where the elbows and the dirty boxing of Pitlick can keep him safe in that distance where he's not just getting held on to.
So the mouthpiece coming out for Gustafsson.
Pitlick does have very good dirty boxing. If he can get that half collar tie, land some uppercuts.
When Gustafsson in the red walks inside the octagon, he said, I channel the spirits of my ancestors. He goes, think about the time of the Vikings, that feeling when you're out on the battlefield. You don't care who you're fighting out there. You just go out there with an axe and go rage.
After I watched that Tony Lampinen fight, I was hooked. That was a bloody battle. That's the fight you don't want to show your girlfriend if she's a little squeamish about MMA. Show her that. Or your boyfriend, whatever the case.
Or if you're a youngster and you're like, hey mom, I want to do this sport, check this fight out.
Yeah, no, not that
one. Now it's developing under the left eye of Pitlick. Not sure if it was one of those inside elbows. Oh, Pitlick with an overhand right.
Yeah, beautiful counter right there from Pitlick. Hey, you know, he's showing that he's got a gas tank. This pressure from Gustafsson is insane so far. But when he gets in separation, he still manages to throw some good solid strikes out there.
That was a massive shot. I'm honestly impressed that Gustafsson is still standing, landing these elbows. That's exactly what Pitlick needs to do. He's got to dig in and get some respect, but in order to do that, he's got to figure out how to make space. Oh, these pummeling exercises are so tiring.
Yeah, if anybody at home, it's like, go great work. I mean, Gustafsson's just so nasty in here with just, oh, big knee as well. Another one.
Back-to-back knees.
Oh, that might have been.
Pitlick, and it's over. Andre Gustafsson gets the stoppage here in the second round.
Started rolling in there with absolutely no stopping it.
That last one, too, super close. It was as Pitlick was falling down. Hopefully it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't stopped for that reason. Oh, and now the face of Pitlick seems to be busted open. Gustafsson's just an animal in there. My God.
There's something just mean about this dude, Gustafsson. He walks in with an attitude like, you don't want to mess with me. Just see Pat Pitlick get to his face, and wow, you can see the underneath his left eye, the damage he took from those elbows.
All right, let's take a look here. Look at these elbows in close. I mean, this was the game plan from the jump from Gustafsson to pressure forward, clinch, wear on Pitlick, not give him any space. And then he started landing some brutal knees as well. That's what ultimately ended up finishing the fight. Let's see here. You can see the face at this point is already busted up. He frames on the head, lands this knee right on the jaw of Pitlick. Starts to send him to the canvas. Yeah, I think they're all clean, honestly. Good work there from Gustafsson. Brutal fighter, man.
Ooh.
You're going to like to see him again, I would think.
Love to see the sign of respect as both fighters embracing at the end of that one. Let's make this one official and go inside to Justin Bernard.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 minutes, 20 seconds into round number 2, referee Mark Smith calls a stop to the fight for the winner by TKO, Andreas Gustafsson.
Paul, we've talked about the intrigue factor here tonight, what it takes. Do people want to see you fight in the UFC? And I want to see Gustafsson fight again.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. He brings that style. I love that clinch battle, that grimy, in-your-face, throwing elbows. That's my style of fight, John. That's what I love to see. Guys that can knee, elbow, clinch, and just have cardio, right? That was wearing on Pitlick more than it was wearing on Gustafsson, and that just shows you that that's what he was prepared for. That's what him and his team came out here to do, and they executed it perfectly. He ate some shots, showed durability too, and just to have another Swede on the roster that can fight like that. I mean, he even said that. He's like, I want you guys to come back over here. And to tell you what, as a color commentator, I also want to go back to Sweden.
I know how much you love Sweden. It has been a while since the UFC has been back over in Sweden. Maybe this is a guy who could get it back in his home country.
It's certainly the step in the right direction, right? You get a violent guy like this who just goes out there for blood and even said, I don't even care about wins and losses as much as I care about going out there and being proud of the fight that I put on. I can tell you there's a few people that were in attendance tonight that love to hear that, and that's the man right there, Dana White.
This is the ultimate job interview, and Dana White is going to go into the back to look over his notes. In the meanwhile, we'll go to Lorisenko with the winner.
Thank you so much, guys. Unbelievable. Andreas Gustafsson, you said that you were going to come out here and channel the Viking spirit. 8 knockouts. I'd say you did exactly that.
Yeah, thank you. But in the first round, he was strong, very strong in the first round. My plan was to wrestle him down and finish him on the ground. But yeah, he was tougher than I thought, so I couldn't keep him on the ground. Yeah, so it went like it went. It went to a war. Yeah, just like how I wanted.
You took away the space, you put him on the fence, and you did so much damage in that position. Did you know that the elbows would be a critical part of this?
Yeah, I both feel and heard them, and I'm confused. He was able to stand up because my elbows are so sore. But a really tough guy. All the respect to him.
An unbelievably violent finish. Do you feel like you could be Sweden's next big star in the UFC?
I hope so. The first Viking in the UFC. But yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what Dana says.
if he's pleased with this fight or not.
I don't make the decisions around here, but I have a pretty good feeling that he's pretty pleased with that fight. Congratulations, Andreas. Tremendous performance. Hopefully I'll be talking to you again. Thank you. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Laura, thank you so much. You can see inside the octagon, he is a warrior, but outside, mild-mannered, very soft-spoken, a kind man. Let's see if Andreas Gustafsson, at 33 years old, has his UFC contract here tonight. All right, Yanni, let's take a look at the props that paid tonight.
Perfect example of why us sports bettors get together on Tuesday night. 3-fighter parlay pays 200 to 1. That's correct. Cody Haddon by sub at plus 600. All 6 of his wins by finish. Someone has that bet for sure. Finney via decision at plus 330. Ralston's only been finished 1 time. That's another ticket I'm sure someone's got in their pocket. And finally, Romeus via decision. Him and Parado combined for 15 first-round finishes. So this one will be tough. But if you got that plus 600 in your pocket and rack these 3 up, $100 paid 20 dimes. That's a score for Tuesday night. Whew.
All right, with all 5 fights tonight, let's go to the winner's circle. As we see our winners, Cody Haddon got it started early on with a rear naked choke submission. And then Torres Finney, in his second time around, he got his win here back on the show. Paul, what impressed you the most about Cody Haddon?
Honestly, everything, to be completely fair. The kid came out with a really, a tough opponent on the other side who also had really fantastic striking, and he came out there and he did everything that we've seen in this young man's career so far. Went out there, dropped him, showed off the submission skills, showed off the grappling, and just went out there and did his job. And I think there's no doubt in my mind that this kid walks out of here with a contract. I mean, he's first on my list still after everyone has fought through this, and just impressive, especially with the MMA scene in Australia, the way it's going. Being from Perth, it's the right time for a young man like this to emerge.
All right, once again, there are our winners here tonight. You can feel the suspense inside the Apex here in Las Vegas. All right, it's time. I want some decisions. Let's send it over to Laura Senko, who is with the man himself, Dana White.
Thanks so much, guys. Well, Dana, some finishes, but maybe some that took a little bit more discussion. What'd you see tonight?
Yeah, it was an odd night. Let's put it that way, in my opinion. Let's start with the first fight, Cody and Billy. Now, this fight came highly recommended by Sean Shelby. Sean Shelby was so pumped for this fight, and let me tell you what, not much excites Sean Shelby anymore. Yeah, he was so pumped for this fight. He loves both of these kids, and obviously, if you look at the performance that Cody put on, Cody, you know the answer to this question. Get over here, kid. You're in the UFC.
Cody Haddon, welcome to the UFC.
All right. Finney, now, you were here last year, and, my recommendation to you was to go out and get some experience. You're young. You're obviously talented. You're now 9-0. You got 1 fight. You went out in 1 year and fought 1 fight. And, I'm always brutally honest with this stuff. You get absolutely decimated in the UFC with the performance that you put on tonight. Your performance last year was better than this performance. You're 25 years old, kid. You're obviously a talented athlete. Go out and get 3 or 4 fights this year. Then come back and talk to us about the UFC. You gassed out tonight. You had a tough time getting through 3 rounds. You're not ready for the UFC. When I said go out and get some experience, I didn't mean 1 fight. I meant get some fights. We'll see you soon. All right. Cortavius, you are an interesting dude. Let me tell you that. I gave Mike this opportunity to come in, and I definitely made the right decision in having him come in. This kid came in with a massive chip on his shoulder. He came here to win. He came here to take you out. And we got to see everything from you. We got to see striking. We got to see your takedown ability. You are one of the most gifted athletes I've ever seen. Half of the shit you did wasn't like the technique you had worked on in the gym. It's because you're such a freak athlete, you were able to do certain things in this fight. The thing I question about you is your fight IQ. You could have stopped that fight so many times during the fight, and you did the opposite of what I said. When you kicked him to the body, I said, this fight's over. He's going to go right down. He's going to start punching him to the body. You didn't throw another body punch the entire round, let alone the entire fight. It's fascinating. You are a freak athlete. You're a talented dude. You are now, what are you now, 9-2? I'm going to give you a shot. I want to see you train with the right guys, and I'm curious to see what you can do. You're one of the most gifted athletes I've ever seen. Congratulations.
Cortavius Romeus, you are in the UFC.
All right. Rizvan. Obviously, this one, he's a heavyweight champion for Habib's promotion. He's now 12-2. He's got 9 finishes. The knee to the body, the finish. You're obviously a killer, man. We always need good heavyweights. Come on over here.
Rizvan Kuniev, congratulations and welcome to the UFC.
He has no idea what I just said, but...
They'll interpret.
Yeah, somebody will tell him. All right, Andreas. So, Pat, another guy. Listen, I say this all the time. I'm not looking for 30-something-year-old contenders. And Pat is a guy that made me respect him when I saw him on Looking for a Fight. And, you know, your game plan tonight was a little weird to me at first. Not very exciting, not very, you know, because Sean Shelby told me a lot about it. Like, wait, do you see this guy? He comes in, he does this and that. Who the hell am I to judge anybody's game plan when the fight ended the way that it did? And, you know, this guy had multiple contusions and at the end of the fight had a hard time getting back to his feet. You are a killer, you are a savage, and I'm definitely going to give you a shot in the UFC. Come on over here.
Andreas Gustafsson, welcome to the UFC. Dana, tonight was an interesting night in terms of a lot of people getting second chances. 2 guys from Looking for a Fight, 3 guys who had been here previously. To the fighters that come back again in the future, what is it that you are looking for? For instance, obviously Torres Finney didn't have it tonight. What is it that you are looking for to see from them in comparison to their previous fight? Or is it just the desire to be here again?
Be better than the last time you were here, which he did not do tonight. And like I just said, the last fight with Andreas, I was sitting there going, this guy's giving us the first opportunity to see him, and he's literally running to clinch even in the middle of the octagon. But then at the end of the fight, you cannot, you might not love his game plan, and you might not sit there and go, why is he doing it this way? Then you see the results. And I told you, I gave Pat this opportunity, and for those of you at home that don't know, Pat's 9-1 with 9 knockouts. And you saw he caught Andreas with a big shot in that round too, and he went in and absolutely busted him up and finished a guy that I know is tough, durable, and wanted to win here badly tonight. So again, I don't have to understand everything. I just have to see the results at the end, and there's no way that I couldn't give Andreas this opportunity.
Well, that's 8 contracts and 10 fights. I'm excited to see what we got next week. Thank you so much, Dana. Appreciate it. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Laura, appreciate that. Dana White congratulating the newest members of the UFC. And probably Cortavius Romeus was the guy who was sweating it out the most, not sure if he was going to get this contract tonight.
And that was the one that, you know, listen, I don't know what Dean and the matchmakers are thinking. I can only put my opinion out there. And I think that was the one where that's kind of what we were thinking, right? It was more about the fight IQ and could he get it done? But Dana's seen enough to know that the kid can do some damage out there.
All right, let's send it back to Laura.
Thank you so much, guys. Well, Cody, welcome to the UFC. I heard a quote from you coming into this. You said, this is going to feel like I won the lottery. Is that accurate?
Way better. Yeah, the lottery would have sucked if I won that. Compared to this is way better, yeah. No, I'm just blown away. Words can't describe, yeah.
How good did it feel to hear Dana White singing your praises?
Oh, it's just dream come true, man. Like, yeah, I've always dreamt about this moment. I'm just grateful that, like I said before, Sean gave me the opportunity and I could, you know, show everyone what I can do on the biggest platform in the world. And now I'm just thinking about the next fight and who's next, and whatever killer they put in front of me, I'll be looking to take them out also.
Absolutely. We got to take a look one more time at this watch party in Perth, Western Australia, because they went absolutely bananas for their newly minted UFC fighter.
Woo! Yeah, Royales. Shout out to Royales. Yeah, best watch party yet.
Tremendous. I cannot wait to see you fight in the UFC. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Congrats, man. Go enjoy that contract.
Thank you.
All right, Cortavius, come on over here. Cortavius Romy is the newest UFC fighter. Congratulations, man. I tell you what, sometimes Dana White slow plays those decisions, but that one might have been the slowest one of all. What were you thinking as he was talking?
Man, my heart was beating so fast. I'm like, oh, shoot, fucked up. But, hey, I did it, you know, and I got a lot to work on, you know. This is a dream come true. Words can't even describe how I feel right now.
How soon can we see you inside the UFC?
Soon. Yeah.
I like that. Very soon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, and congrats, guys. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Laura, appreciate that. Paul, I work on a lot of different shows.
Yeah.
I cover a lot of different sports. This is the realest show I have ever been on in my entire life. To see Romeus have that kind of reaction, I mean, that's real.
Yeah, well, you know, these poor guys also get put out there to just wait and hear what the guy that they want to impress most is sitting there judging them. But, yeah, you get what you come here for. You know, you can get that contract.
All right, let's go back to Laura with the heavyweight who now is in the UFC.
Thank you very much, guys. Congratulations, Rizvan. Dana White had a lot of good things to say about you. I don't know if someone was able to interpret that for you, but he was singing your praises. Did you have any doubt that you would be standing here a UFC fighter?
Дана про тебя хорошие вещи сказал, и ему понравилось твое выступление. Я не знаю, кто-нибудь тебе перевел его слова или нет, но какие у тебя ощущения были, когда ты сидел на стуле?
Спасибо за поздравления. Ну, у меня с английским не так на сегодняшний день хорошо, я плохо понимаю, поэтому я не мог разобрать, медали, контракт или нет, поэтому и эмоций не было особо. Но я рад очень, что он заметил мое выступление. Долго шел к этому, очень рад, что дали контракт.
Yes, I translated to him his words, and he said I didn't know what he said because last time I was there, you know, I didn't get it, but I wasn't sure if I got the contract or not. But I'm very, very happy. It's been a long time coming, so we're here now. But I'm going to work on my English, and we'll improve.
Well, I look forward to speaking to you in English in the UFC. Congratulations and welcome. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you so much. Kuniev talked about how getting to the UFC is so important for him because since 2019, he's only been able to get one fight a year because at his size, with his skill, guys don't want to fight him.
Nobody wants it.
Now in the UFC, he's going to get some fights.
Well, and that's the problem for a lot of these guys, John. We see it time and time again. They just can't seem to get the people to fight them on the regional scene, on the lower level promotions. So they're just like, oh, I got to do enough just to get that contract. Because once you're in the UFC, listen, it opens things up. You're talking about the best guys in the world fighting in each of these divisions. So now he'll get some fights.
All right, let's go back to Laura, who has our featured welterweight winner of the night.
Thank you so much, guys. Well, I'm here with the newest welterweight in the UFC, Andreas Gustafsson. Congratulations. The results made you undeniable.
Yeah, pretty that's I'm very happy. Words can't describe. Yeah.
What are the chances we get those UFC fights back to Sweden? We make that happen?
I really hope so. We're starting to get some few good Swedish UFC fighters now. So I hope UFC comes to Sweden.
I completely agree. Welcome to the UFC. Congratulations. Go enjoy your contract. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
Laura, good stuff tonight. Well, Tuesdays, it's the night to tune in to Dana White's Contender Series. Next week, it is week 3. We got Malcolm Wellmaker. He scored a viral knockout on Masvidal's Icon fighting Adam Brumhold. He comes from a small town in England. That's where he gets his identity. That was a pro boxer, and that's where he draws his inspiration from. There's so many good fighters that people just don't know about yet in the world of MMA, and this is the best platform for them to get their name out and show Dana White that they could be here in the UFC. What a night. Thanks for letting a fan crash the party, guys. It was so much fun, Paul. You guys seriously are the best. I had so much fun tonight.
Oh, dude, we had a blast working with you, man. Blast, truly.
Congratulations to the newest members of the UFC, Cody Haddon, Cortavius Romeus, Rizvan Kuniev, and Andreas Gustafsson. What a night here on Tuesday. For my partners, Paul Felder, Laura Senko, I'm John Schriffen. Thanks for tuning in to Dana White's Contender Series. This is what it's about.